Let's take you to the Kingdom of eSwatini now, and fewer than 200 citizens have contracted COVID-19, and there have been only 2 deaths. But the Kingdom's government has already detailed several relief measures to keep the economy and business sector afloat. Mr. Manqoba Khumalo, eSwatini Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, joins us via Skype now from Mbabane. Siyakwamkela wena wekunene, and thank you for your time. If you can perhaps give us just an idea of how the Kingdom has been impacted economically. A number of countries on the continent's economies having been battered by the outbreak.
Well, thank you very much. The country, eSwatini, basically runs on a GDP of close to 68 billion rand in rand terms, malangeni in our currency, and we're estimating that as a result of COVID-19, there's going to be an erosion of close to 7 billion emalangeni, or 7 billion rand. But the clear impact is obviously on business because it's a very private sector-led economy that is exports-driven, and we are taking a serious knock because of COVID-19, both in big business and in small, medium enterprises.
Let's talk about the Economic Recovery Task Team that has been established in the country to deal with that specifically. What is its mandate, and what is the update, perhaps, if you can tell us, of the work that they've already done?
Yes, on the 27th of April, His Excellency the Prime Minister discharged a team of cabinet ministers to work on an economic recovery strategy post-COVID-19. The team really is mandated to look at how to mitigate and limit the impact of COVID-19 to business during the pandemic, as well as coming up with a very robust strategy of how we can jolt the economy back to life post-COVID-19. What the team has done so far is to have a private sector-led approach. The team is led by captains of industry across the different sectors of the economy. They are working with all stakeholders to bring together a plan that we should be announcing before the end of May in terms of how we capacitate SMEs to play a bigger role in our economy, as well as how we bring not only the businesses that are affected, but new businesses into the country in the form of foreign direct investment. The key element of this strategy really is to think outside the box, look at our policy frameworks from a macroeconomic point of view, our monetary policy, our fiscal policy, as well as look at our legislative frameworks to see what laws and rules we need to change to make it easy for business to operate in eSwatini.
A number of countries on the continent flirting with the idea, if not already having engaged fully with organizations like the International Monetary Fund. Does eSwatini, or do you envision that eSwatini would get to a point where you go and you seek help from these bodies?
Absolutely. We do have a lot of funding partners that we are already working with. We've received a loan already from the World Bank that is currently being processed. We've made an application to the IMF, to your point, because the strategy obviously has to have a funding element to it. One of the work streams then is looking at how the plan will be funded. And our Ministry of Finance and our Ministry of Economic Planning are working hand in glove to come up with a strategy to mobilize resources to fund the plan. So we are working quite extensively to get donor funding, but also to get loan funding to make sure that we can make the lives of the private sector better. We are not looking to issue handouts as a government for the most part, but we want to create an enabling environment for the private sector to have access to finance, to spearhead an economic recovery of new proportions that the country has never seen. Whilst we see this as a problem, we also see it as a burning platform. It's going to allow us to think outside the box, seek new avenues, and enable, to a large extent, exploration of our businesses into new markets.
Sibonge, Mr. Mangoba Khumalo, eSwatini Minister of Commerce and Trade.